Hey traders, this is Jeff from Zen Trader, and I want to talk about downside targets on the three major indexes today, as well as the Toronto Stock Exchange. I don't often really like to give targets, but I think the markets are approaching a level where we could potentially bounce, and I'll further elaborate that on the long-term charts here. But let me start with the 60-minute chart of the NASDAQ. Basically, we keep hitting level after level that I have highlighted in previous videos, and as you can see here, this could be resistance now as we continue to ratchet down. My target on the NASDAQ, so essentially if you were bullish on the markets and you were looking to deploy some capital, I think right around the 2600 would be a decent level that we could potentially bounce. Now, what the character of that bounce looks like is yet to be determined, but the ADX here is moving down. So essentially, what that means is that this trend is not strong yet. Now, if we continue to keep going down and the ADX turns up with the negative DI. So if the negative DI rises and the ADX turns up, that's what a strong trend looks like. So essentially it looks like this. So the ADX is a little bit of a confusing indicator, but it is pretty powerful to determine trends. Although the market has not been trending, it's been more of an oscillating. So that's what has me believe that we're going to move, that we're going to bounce up here. And then we'll take a look at the character of the bounce, see what kind of volume comes in as to whether we're going to move to new highs or whether we're going to roll over, which that would be another opportunity to get short. But I think for a number of reasons that I'm not going to go into, I think this 2600 is a good area to maybe pick up some long ETS and play a bounce. My targets, I'm not gonna show charts for the Dow and the S&P, but my downside target for the Dow is 11,650 and my S&P is 1250. I think those are good areas, and this downside move in the NASDAQ will probably coincide with a RSI on the weekly touching 40 like it did here, and that proved to be a good buying opportunity, as I think it will be here. The other thing that I need to talk about pretty quickly, because I'm going to run out of time, is the TSX. And this has been just, picture perfect downtrend right here. But I think when you take a look at the weekly, it's sold off enough that I think this is going to offer a potential buying opportunity. Now, all of my market timing signals are bearish. Like, none of them have even flipped at all. So I wouldn't recommend really getting heavy, but if you've been in cash for the majority of this downturn, then now could be an opportunity, but you need to keep your stops tight here with, for example, on the TSX. It's because it's fairly bearish. I like to wait for the trends to turn up, but everybody has different trading styles. So you could potentially use this 1300 as a stop if you wanted to, because you see how quickly bounced right off of that. But what I would like to see in the markets is some kind of capitulation, which we haven't really seen in the markets. Volume rose today on the Dow, but not so much on the NASDAQ. So I'd like to see some big 2.5% down day, and I think that would be the day to really kind of jump in and try to play a bounce. The only other thing I wanted to show here, for those of you who stuck around for the whole video, is an interesting relatively new stock here that just has an extremely bullish chart pattern, and I think this is going to be one to watch when the market does turn around here. UAN here on the New York Stock Exchange. So with that said, sidelines has been a good place to be, but we could be approaching a buying opportunity.